All right, perfect. So, welcome to my math party, people. Again, my name is Coach Anderson. Today, we are doing a math knowledge review class. So, what that means is plenty of practice, timed practice, and then I'll be walking you through how to get these problems done from start to finish, every single one. All I need from you is an open mind, honestly. If you're willing to sit here and try everything out and take some advice, I think this is going to go very, very well for you. All right. So, again, like I said before, now that the recording has started, we have three main things that we're really going to be hitting here. Number one, obviously, it's math knowledge review. So, we're going to be sampling different math knowledge questions, and that's going to help us understand even better what the difference is between arithmetic reasoning and math knowledge. Once we understand that difference, you're really going to see that, oh, AR and MK aren't just math. Like, it's different types of math. It's a different way to prepare for each one. And once you understand how to better prepare, it's better for you. And so, lastly, how to prepare. For those of you in my program, I'm going to be pointing out again the units that you can find each of these problems in. That way, you can go to the course after class, practice what you need to do, and then have fun. So, with that, let me go ahead and let this person in. And let's just dive on in. All right, we're going to have 2 minutes per question every single time. That's right, Damien. If you want to call it torture, your torture is someone else's teaching. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me get this timer up for you for 2 minutes. Let me go ahead and show it right behind me. Cool, there it is. Let me get my face out of the way. And remember, everybody, do your best. Don't reveal the answer. Simply type ready when you're ready in the chat box. I'm going to give you, again, 2 minutes. So let's dive on in. Let's see what you got. 3, 2, 1. Let's taste the ASVAB. Looking at our final 4, 3, 2, and 1, my party people. How are we doing? Reveal those answers. What do we have? What do we have? All right. Go ahead. Yeah, if you're taking a guess, go ahead and put a question mark next to your answer. No shame in that at all. No shame in taking a guess. That's more so for me as your teacher to see kind of where your head's at, if you were confident or not confident in that answer that you gave. Okay. All right. So this first one's a good one, looking like we have a lot of disagreement here. All right. Cool. Let's see what's up. So, my party people, from this question, you know, whether it's a word problem or not, you always want to understand what the question's asking you to figure out. And the first thing you want to do is exactly that. Let's read the question. So it says, what is the x coordinate when y equals 4. So all I gathered from that is just saying, hey, well, what I'm looking for is, if we're looking at it as x comma y, I'm looking for what this question mark is here when you have a 4 for the y. Is that true, everybody? That's what we're looking for there? We're looking for what that question mark is, what the x is when y is 4. Right on. Okay, so again, I'm not revealing what math we're doing yet. It's going to be very obvious in a moment once we point out a very important keyword, but we need to first understand, hey, basically, simply put, what is it that we're being asked to find? And here, if it's a coordinate x, y, we're looking for what x is when y is 4. Now, again, that's important, very important, but now let's go into the second most important thing here, and it's going to be the clue that is just blasted on this problem. Everybody, if you had to highlight one word in the entire question, the whole problem, what's one word that you would really highlight, circle, emphasize, mark with a pen, whatever way you want to say it? Thank you. It looks like everyone here is agreeing that we're talking about slope. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So let's highlight that right there. We're looking for slope. Okay. My party people, when it comes to slope, does there happen to be a formula that we can potentially apply here? Yeah, there's absolutely a potential formula. Now, a couple of us here might be thinking one of two things. Some of us here might be thinking that we're dealing with a y equals mx plus b problem. And on the other hand, some of us might be thinking that we're using this formula here. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's mark these out here. Formula number 1 and formula number 2. So which of these formulas do you think best applies to this problem? Because both of them use slope, right? The first one has slope right here. And the second one, slope is by itself. Okay, so why are you saying, I see that the majority of us here are saying number 2. Why is that? Why is the second formula the best one to go with? Why is that? Who can tell me why? There we go. Okay. So before I move on, let's go ahead and just make sure we know where we're at. We're looking for an x coordinate when y is 4. But the biggest thing here is that, hey, we're going to give you some information about the slope. We're going to give you what the slope is. So when we thought about that, we said, hey, let's go ahead and there's a couple of formulas that use slope in it, like y equals mx plus b, and the slope formula itself. The reason that this one right here is the best one to go with is because when you look at the formula, everybody, what this means, what this right here, all of this here means is that to find slope, to calculate it, you are basically going to take 2 coordinates. The 2 and the 1 here, that just tells you which coordinate it belongs to. So for example, if I'm taking a look at right over here, that piece of information that we're given, I hope you realize that this is written in the form x comma y. Everybody, is that true? Is that written in that form where you have a number, comma, another number, all wrapped into parentheses? Absolutely. So what we need to recognize is that we have one coordinate here, and the question itself, look at the red. Just take a look at the red. It tells you, hey, what's the x when y is 4? The way I wrote it down earlier, right here. Erase that. That's another coordinate. That is another coordinate. And so what I can happily say now, or really mark down, is that we are given 2 coordinates and we're given the slope, we got to find one piece of information. That's why this one's the better one. That's why this is the better one, because I can tell you right now, if I have 10 comma 14, I can pretend that this is my x1 and that's y1. All the 1 means, all that means is that, hey, this is my first x and my first y. And then over here, the question mark with the 4, I'll just go ahead and say that that is my second x and my second y. Is that okay with you guys? Before I continue, because understanding this right here is going to be the biggest piece of this problem. Does this make sense, or is this okay with you before we move on? Okay. So once you get to this point, and I'm not saying that everybody's guaranteed to get to this point, but what I'm saying is once you understand the piece of information that you have, and you know your formula right over here, well, what you're doing is filling in the formula with the information you have, solving it, and you're done. Let me show you what this looks like. So here's the formula. Slope, which is m. Again, let me just mark that down right there. That's your slope, equals, again, your second y minus your first y, second x minus your first x. Really, if you have any experience with this at all I can tell you is this. The order doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you're using the same order on the top and the bottom. So if you start with this y up top, then this x starts on the bottom. If this y starts up top, then this x starts on the bottom. Just make sure you're lining it up the same way and you're fine. And you're subtracting. But once we're here, all we got to do, like I said, fill everything in and we're good. My party people, what did this problem say was the slope? What was the slope? It was 1. So again, like I said, what we're doing now is just filling in this formula, solving the formula. We have the slope right here. The slope is 1, so I'll plug that right in. And then what I'm going to do, just to make sure that I don't make a mistake, this is something that you should probably try to do too. Whenever you're filling in formulas, do your best to make sure you are copying and pasting exactly as it is. Don't get confused by negatives. Easiest way to get confused. So let me go ahead and just fill this right here. And I'm going to put the subtraction sign already right there. Everyone, what number am I filling in for y2? Right, we'll go ahead and put that 4. I'll go ahead and just, again, mark y2 and x2 right here. So I'll go ahead and put, hey, we have 4 right there. And what will I go ahead and put for y1? 14. Sounds good. So I'll go ahead and mark that with green right over here. And sure, yep, that'll be 14. Everyone, what am I going to put for x2? Yeah, we can put a question mark or we can put an X there. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for what that second X is. And so with that said, hey, that's fine. Just leave it as X. It's all good. Leave it as X. And then what am I putting in for X1? I'll be putting on 10. Sounds good. So cool. Let's go and mark that there. Boom. So before I continue, I just want to make sure that you guys are with me, especially those who are not quite commenting right now. Do you understand that all we did was figure out, hey, this formula applies to what we're doing, number one. And then number two, we are just taking the information we have and appropriately and correctly translating it onto the formula. Does that make sense to you so far? We just plugged in what we had the right way. That's all we did. Cool. Now, this part up next might feel like the hard part, where we're actually solving. And like I said, before you get into math knowledge, your goal is to make sure that you have mastered all types of calculation and all types of numbers. So if at any point you feel a little lost with the work that I'm doing, just make sure you understand, hey, just got to work on my basics here. I can do that. So let's solve this. Is there anything we can do here to clean this up before we continue on? Is there anything that we can just clean right up? Yeah, that's right. Landa, Jocelyn, we can go ahead and subtract the top. But let's make sure we know how to handle negatives, right? What is 4 minus 14 going to be? Correct. That's going to be negative 10. So let me go ahead and just move this over here. So this will end up becoming, again, 1 equals, and so again, 4 minus 14. That's the same thing as 14 minus 4, but it's in the negative direction because you're subtracting more than what you have. So 4 minus 14, that's a difference of 10, but it'll be negative 10 because you're subtracting more than you have. And so that'll be negative 10 up top. And on the bottom, we still have that x minus 10. So now that we're here, there are two very, very approachable ways to do this. Number one, it's going to be the eyeball test. Everybody, what this is saying is it's saying, hey, negative 10 divided by whatever this is going to be 1. My party people, quick question. What's the only way that you can divide a number and get 1? What's the only way that can happen? What's the only way you can divide a number and get 1? Exactly. Dividing it by itself. Thank you, Landa. Thank you, Indy. Thank you, Zoom user. If you want to tell me your name, I'll switch your name up there. But yeah, if you divide a number by itself, you get 1. Think about it. 5 divided by 5, that's 1. 25 divided by 25, that's 1. 92 divided by 92, that's 1. So if we have negative 10 up top, what does the bottom have to be then? If the top is negative 10, the bottom also has to be negative 10. It has to. Because remember, if you're dividing a number by itself, you're trying to get 1. You're trying to get that 1 right over there. So that's one way you could look at it. And if you eyeball it, well, you already have that negative 10 right there. That needs to be a 0 then. Because 0 minus 10, that's going to give you negative 10. That's one way you could look at it. One way you could look at it. The other way that's a lot more direct and will work for any number that you see there is this. I want to get x by itself, but it's in the denominator. What I'm first going to do is this. Allow me to move this over here. And what I'm going to do, my party people, is I'm going to get this x minus 10 out of the denominator by multiplying the entire side here by x minus 10. If you didn't know you could do that, well, welcome. So all I'm doing here is getting that variable, that x, out of the denominator by multiplying both sides by the denominator. That's how you can get rid of the stuff on the bottom and place it up top. And so to show you here, what's going to happen right over here, everybody? When you divide and multiply by the same exact thing, what's that C word that ends up happening? Right, it's going to cancel out. And Kai, no, you can't. But yes, it's going to cancel out. So this right here cancels out. And what you're going to be left with is this. Everybody, if you're multiplying by 1, is it true that the left side is just going to be x minus 10? Yeah, right? So you're just multiplying by 1. Just multiplying by 1. So that's going to stay the same. And on the right side, we just have the negative 10. What we're doing here is we're going to finish solving the equation. There's only one thing left to do to get x by itself. What's that going to be? And be specific here. Don't just give me, yeah, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. We're going to add the 10 because if we notice, we're subtracting 10 right now. I got to get rid of a taking away 10. The opposite of taking away 10, adding 10, but make sure that you mention doing it to both sides. So it's going to be right here, plus 10, plus 10, booyah. That's going to cancel on the left, and it's going to cancel on the right. And what we end up getting is x equals 0. We end up getting x equals 0. And that's going to be the answer. And I'm going to zoom out so you can take a screenshot if you'd like to. But what the answer is going to be, here is C0. And for those of you who have gone through your mental math work, if you know slope, you might actually be able to get this problem done without putting your pencil to paper at all. Here's what I mean. Again, this might be a little bit more of an advanced technique, but just listen up if you'd like to stay curious. What I noticed was that, hey, the slope is 1. So what that means is every time I go over by 1 on the x, I go up 1 on the y. If you look at where we were, 14 on the y, down to 4 on the y, that tells me that we went from 14 to 4. I'm going back 10. And just like I said earlier, a slope of 1 means you go up 1 on the x, you go up 1 on the y. So if I go down 10 on the y, I'm going down 10 on the x. 10 minus 10, 0, done. Did that make sense to anybody out there? And again, for some of us it might, for some of us it won't, and that's okay. That's just a slightly more advanced way of thinking about it in terms of manipulating slope. That's all it was. Yeah, so what happened to the 1, Fatmata, was that, hey, that x minus 10 times 1 right over here. Remember that, excuse me. Remember that anything times 1 is going to stay the same. So here, x minus 10 times 1, it's just going to be x minus 10. It's just going to be x minus 10. I got you, Shane, and Sia, I got you there too. So for those of you, gotcha. So with that said, for those of you here that are in the program, I want to go ahead and show you my screen right here behind me. This is basically going to be where you want to go to do more problems just like this. So when you log into the website, here's what you see. You get your math basics, AR, MK, your practice test course, everything you need. But you're going to go ahead and click math knowledge right here. And this is going to go ahead and show you your math knowledge dashboard. It's going to show you everything you've completed. This is a dummy account, so you're going to see a bunch of X's, but your progress is going to be tracked. For this specific problem, what you'll do is you'll go for, right over here, Unit 9. Unit 9, graphing lines and calculating slope. That's where you're going to work on. So when you click it, you can go ahead and do a time speed drill, or you can look at lessons with videos and worksheets. Either way, you got what you need here. And right here, you can practice problems that we've been doing, calculating slope, finding missing coordinates, all of that while being timed. That way you can learn to work under pressure. So with that, do you understand where to go? Math knowledge, Unit 9 for that specific problem that we just did. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. Good. And for those of you asking where to go to get into the full program, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this link here in the chat box for you. But I'll talk more about this toward the end of class. So you can go ahead, get the full program right here. Here's the link in the chat box. Boom. And yes, the lessons are recorded. They are available the very next day in the class recordings course that you get. But there it is. There's the link. I got you. But we're going to move forward into the next problem here. That way we can continue getting our groove on. So with that, let me go ahead and write this down again. Unit 9, Math Knowledge, Unit 9 for those of you in the program. I got you. So with that, that's question number 1. Number 2, coming right up. Let me just make sure I see it here. Okay, cool. So quick question. How do you feel about geometry? My party people, how do you feel about geometry? Do you feel like geometry is easy, medium, hard? How do you feel? Hard, easy, so hard, not good at it. I'm just terrible at math in general. No, you're not. I'm not good at it. Hard, not my friend. So if it was drywall, you'd probably punch it. Won't judge you there. So medium, mid, same as algebra, hard, confident, medium, hard. Easy when you remember the formulas. I like hearing that. Feeling okay. All right, cool. Need to get better. All right, no worries. Let's see if that matches up with what you see here. And remember, everybody, when it comes to math knowledge, here's my piece of advice. There is always going to be at least one solid piece of information that fits perfectly in the problem that you're doing. So let's see if you can read this next question and immediately come to find, hey, what is the mathematical fact that I can apply here? That's what we want to do, okay? So here we go, my party people. 3, 2, and 1. The timer has started. I'll reveal it in a moment. There it is. Let's get to work. And that is time, my party people. Go ahead and give your answers. Let's see what you got. Let's see how confident we were. Myself back in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and have that fun, my party people. Yeah, again, put a question mark next to your answer if it's a guess. Let's see what we got. Okay. All right. So, my party people, everybody, if you had to give the topic of conversation here, what's the topic of conversation here? Clearly, what's the umbrella overall concept? What would you say it is? Angles. Okay, cool. Now, when we're talking about angles, we could be talking about angles on a straight line, just regular angles. We could be talking about angles inside of shapes. If we had to give a little more information, we're talking about angles and what? Angles and triangles. Yes, absolutely. So, look, even if you don't know the formula or whatever it is that we're talking about, I hope you can tell that by reading this, even if you were lost, you can say, hey, we're looking for the measure of the third angle and it's inside of a triangle, right? Even if you don't know what to do after the step, everybody, is it true that you should be able to identify those really big math words like the angle inside of a triangle? Does that make sense so far? Again, even if you were lost, we should be able to identify those words. That's the key here. Yeah, exactly. So the next question is going to be, hey, how do we find that third angle inside of a triangle? So my math party people, let me ask you this. What mathematical fact do you know about the angles of a triangle? What mathematical fact do we know? Now, some of us are saying, hey, 180, they measure 180. They add up to 180. Can anybody tell me, well, okay, even if they do add up to 180, I don't have as much experience as you. Can you tell me how many angles? Is it one, two, three, four, seven? Can we be specific here? Three. When you add up the three angles, you get 180 degrees. That's how we want to say it in our heads because that's how we'll stay calm under pressure. You got to repeat it to yourself a few times as well to get it down, but we don't want to be what I would say lazy, which is not really truly lazy. We just are incomplete in the way that we say things. When we practice, it's way too important to be clear, direct, and whole in what we say. So here is what we got. In a triangle, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Yes or no? Does that make sense? Angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Good. Now, here's what we'll do. We have this mathematical fact that applies to this problem. We're going to take the information we have and plug it in. What do we know? We know that two of these angles inside of the triangle are 43 degrees and 76 degrees. Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and write those in. I'll write in 43 degrees plus 76 degrees plus, and I'll just say x. I don't know what the third angle is, but I'll just say plus x. It's going to add up to 180. Before I continue, everybody, are we cool with what we just did? We identified the formula, and we have now successfully plugged in what we have. Notice, very similar to the first question, right? Identify the formula, plug in what you got, or identify the process and go through it. Like, it has to be quick, And even if you didn't know it, now you do. Now we have a better shot next time. So here, well, let's go ahead and clean some things up. Everybody, what's 43 plus 76? What is 43 plus 76? 119. So right here, that's going to become 119. And then lastly, what we're going to do, well, let's get that x by itself. If we know that 119 plus whatever x is going to give us 180, then I would figure that if I take away the 119, I'll figure out what that gap is, what that missing angle is. So that's exactly what we'll do. We'll subtract 119 from both sides. That's going to cancel out on the left side, leaving us with just x equals what? Yeah, and if you're using some mental math, I can go ahead and say, hey, look, 119 is really close to 120, so just add 1. Then from 120 to 180, that's 60. So if I go up 1, then go up 60, 61. Or you can do the traditional way, taking a little longer and saying, okay, I got to go ahead and borrow 10 minus 9. That's going to be 1. 7 minus 6, or 7 minus 1 is 6. Yeah, you can do it whatever way you want. It's all good. But either way, you're going to see that missing angle is 61 degrees. Booyah. How are we feeling about this one, everybody? Even if we were confused on this at first, how are we feeling about this now? Good. And so I love you guys. I don't want you to say that I make it look easy. If I'm explaining it clearly, I appreciate that. Thank you. But when you say that I make it look easy, I'm just glad that I'm explaining it clearly. And I want you to understand from your perspective, from your end, what you would really need to focus on is exactly what I've been preaching, being able to explain what we're doing. Because remember, everybody, if I switch up the numbers, it's the same concept, same exact type of question, just different numbers. I could switch it from 43 and 76. I could change that to 91 and 17. Or I could change to 145 and 2. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The procedure will still be the same. We have to recognize that we're talking about the angles within a triangle. And once we know that and understand and relate the fact, oh, they add up to 180, we can start doing problems like this like clockwork, like absolute clockwork. So the unit that we're looking for this one, let me go ahead and just go back to my dashboard here, leave that page. So boom, what we're looking at for this one is we're talking about pure math and geometry. This is going to be unit 10. This is unit 10. So math knowledge, unit 10. So this is pure geometry math problems where you're looking at the angles within a triangle. You're looking at just supplementary, complementary angles. Also looking at anything that doesn't have to do with area, perimeter, volume, surface area, the other topics of pure math. Hey, great job, Jocelyn. Exactly. That works. All right. So we are 2 problems in. Let's go ahead and see what we got for the third one here. Ooh, this one's going to be fun. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm actually going to give you 3 minutes for this next one. I'm not saying it's going to be harder, but I am going to tell you, and I'm giving you a little more time to try to figure this one out. So let me go ahead and adjust the timer for you. Hey, I didn't say it was easy. I didn't say it was hard. All I'm saying is I would prefer, I mean, if you want to give me a burrito bowl, I can make it a lot easier if you want. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yeah, wait for that time to be up, my party people. Wait for the timer. 3, 2, 1, time. Let's go. What do we have? What do we have? And again, give a guess if you need to. Put that question mark next to your answer if it is a guess. It's all good, guys. It's all good. All righty, all righty. So here's what we got going on here, my party people. This question is going to fall under Unit 2, Fundamentals of Algebra. So let me go ahead and write this one down. Let me get my face back in here. Just realized we're not back in yet. Boom, boom. All right, so this one's going to be, again, Unit 2, Fundamentals of Algebra. And I'm going to be putting more questions just like this. Fundamentals of algebra. So I'm going to be placing more problems just like this one into that unit as time goes on. And this is about sequences or arithmetic sequences. There's another concept called geometric sequences that we will also review, not in today's class, but in future ones. But I want to ask you all first, how do you feel about this one? Because I know for a lot of us, this might be the first time we've seen something like this, maybe something similar. But how do you feel about this problem? Was it hard, easy, medium? How'd you feel? All right, first time, it was hard, medium, very confusing, hard. I hate this. Medium, someone's crying. I'm lost, first time also, I guessed. Mid, hard, first time. Okay. Not crying, but I want to. I'm kidding. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and check this out. So this is what's called, again, an arithmetic sequence. And I'm going to write this down for you in case you have any materials outside of my program that you have to continue helping you out with this. So again, this is about an arithmetic sequence. So what an arithmetic sequence is, let me go ahead and define this for you. But an arithmetic sequence is pretty much a set of numbers that repeats in a pattern, okay? So a set of numbers where you add the same number to go from one term to the next. So basically just saying, like, if we're adding 2 every time, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. If the difference every time is, take away or subtract 10, subtract 10, subtract 10, subtract 10. It's the same pattern from one number to the next. So here's the formal way of writing it. A set of numbers where there is a common difference between the numbers, or terms is the right way to say it. But that's how we're going to just say it here for now. But I'm going to show you in practice what this really looks like. Because again, it's not just about knowing, hey, how do I, what's the formula? What's the definition? Well, do you know how the formula works? Do you know what you're actually looking at? That's what we really need to be keen to if we want to succeed. So my party people, let me give you an example before we actually start this, because I understand that this may be new for a lot of us. But here's an example. An example could be, hey, we have, let's say 2, then 6, then 10, then 14. Everybody, based off of this pattern, what would the next number be? Yep, that'll be 18. Because I hope you noticed that the common difference was plus 4. Add 4. Add 4. So are we seeing that? The common difference, that's what that means. It's the same difference, and that's the only time where that is grammatically appropriate to say. It is the same difference from one term to the next. Does that make sense, my party people? Don't feel slow, man. Don't say that you're slow. You're not slow. We're getting a refresher here. That's all it is. We're getting a refresher. And for those of us that never have seen this, well, hey, welcome. So let's take a look at the problem at hand. My party people, if we're talking about a sequence, again, take a look at it right here. A sequence is what we're talking about, a sequence of numbers. What does the question say? Which term are we looking for? We're looking for the first term. We're looking for the first term. That's what the question is telling us to find right here. What is the first term? So if I'm listing this out, bam, I'm looking for term number one. Looking for term number one. What information do they give us, everyone? What do they tell us? Danish, mate. We'll see how we get there. Yeah, we see that the third number in the sequence is 18 and the fifth number is 38. Let me highlight that for you. So right here, we're told, hey, the third term is 18. The fifth term is 38. There it is in blue right up there. So let's go ahead and show ourselves, hey, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I am told that the third one is 18. The fifth one is 38. Everyone, did I write that down correctly? Yes or no? Okay. So now that we're here, it's a little weird, right? Because when I showed you this example over here, I just asked you, hey, what's the next one? Not, hey, we have the third and the fifth. Let's work backwards to find the first one, right? It's a little weird in that sense. It's a little weird, but I'm still going to show you how to solve it. It's actually very straightforward as long as you know the principles of what we're doing. The biggest key here is this, everyone. They tell you right here, if a common number is added to find the next term. Everyone, if they're saying that a common number is added to find the next term, is that the same thing as the common difference that we just talked about? Is that the same thing? It is. It is. That's how you know that this is an arithmetic sequence. So just brief, okay, before I move on to the next question, I'm going to give you another bit of note to basically say, hey, we have an arithmetic sequence and we have a geometric one. I'll explain the clear difference between them right after we do this, but let's focus on this right now. So this is bingo for us right here. We want number 1. We have number 3, we have number 5, but what we know is that the same number is being added from here to get to here, from there to there, there to there, and there to there. My party people, what is that number going to be? What is that number going to be? If I want to go from 18 to some number, then some number to 38, what are we adding every single time? Yes, and for the person who just asked, hey, I'm confused. Since it says common difference, it means to find the first term? No, it means that the common difference is part of the problem. They didn't tell you what it was, but you have to take a detour to find it so that you can find that first term. So it's 2 steps for this problem, and as long as you realize that, you'll be a little more calm. But without knowing that, the moment you find the common difference, you might think that that's the answer. So here's what we do, my party people. I got you. No worries. So we see here that to go from 18 to 38, that's plus 20. But we jumped 2 numbers, not 1. And since it's the same thing every time, if we jumped 20 over 2 numbers, everybody, what's 20 cut in half? Divided by 2. What's 20 divided by 2? 10. Because if you're jumping 2 numbers and that's 20, well, if it's going to be the same number every time, if you're only going 1 number, it's half of that. It has to be half. That's plus 10. So that's going to be plus 10 here, plus 10 here. And that middle number has to be 28. Because, think about it now. Now it makes sense. From 18, I add 10. 28, add 10 again, 38. It fits the bill. It fits the pattern. Are we good so far? Are we good so far? Good. Good, good, good. Okay, cool. So now that we're here, everybody, we're not working forward in this problem. We are working what? Yeah, we're working backwards. So if we want to go back to the first term, to move forward, if we started here, we're adding 10, adding 10, adding 10 every single time. But if we're working backwards, oh, no, 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 no. We have got to work backwards. So that means, hey, subtract 10 if we're going backwards. Subtract 10 if we're going backwards. And that makes sense. 38, 28, 18. What's the second term, everybody? That's going to be 8. Yes. And then if we subtract 10 again, what's that going to be? Yeah, not -8. That's a trick answer. It's going to be -2. -2 will be the answer there. And that was it right there. So even for those of us that were confused in the beginning, do we see now that this problem was absolutely doable? Do we see that now? See, I'm glad that you guys were going from frustration to laughing. I'm glad. I'm so happy about that because at the end of the day, remember that the main difference, remember this if you're going to remember anything about this class, the main difference in math knowledge between success and failure is simply knowing the math, recognizing and knowing the math. The moment that you see sequence right here, the moment you see sequence and common number being added, arithmetic sequence. If they were to say, hey, it's a sequence and you have a common number being multiplied, that is called a geometric sequence. So let me explain the difference very briefly for your benefit. That way you can potentially recognize this in the future. So here we go. If we're looking at a geometric sequence, here's what that is. So geometric. Again, this is only for your benefit here. Not going to be a problem that we're doing today, but this is going to be very, very important for you to know. So a geometric sequence, again, a set of numbers that has a common, not difference, but a common ratio. And all a ratio means is a number that's being multiplied or divided over and over or consistently throughout. So let me just erase right there. And that'll be a common ratio right there. A common ratio. So an example of this would be right here. And if we had this set of numbers here, if we had, let's say, we have 1, then 2, then 4, then 8, what would the next term be? So it wouldn't be 10. It wouldn't be 10. Because if you look at this, you add 1, then add 2. So you're not adding the same thing every time. You're multiplying by the same thing every time here. Because 1 to 2, that's times 2. 2 to 4, times 2. 4 to 8, times 2. 8 to the next number, times 2. And that'll be 16. And so in this example here, that answer would be 16 there. And that's because we are multiplying by 2. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. Same thing, multiply by 2. So that's the difference between an arithmetic sequence where you're adding or subtracting the same thing and a geometric sequence where you're multiplying or dividing the same thing. Does that make a little more sense, my party people? Does that make a little more sense? Cool. And there are formulas for each of these, especially if there's a question where they say, hey, here are the first 3 numbers. Find the 100th term. Has anybody ever seen a question like that where they say, hey, here's the first term, second term, third term. Find number 95. Yeah, that crazy stuff, that's what this is. That's what this is. So again, I'll be doing a class straight up on this. I'm going to do that in June, and I'm going to show you the formula, show you exactly how to do it. Yeah. Yeah, the formulas for both, for arithmetic and geometric. If you're dividing the same thing every time, that falls under geometric. Falls under geometric. All right, cool. So with that one, again, like I said, that's Unit 2, Fundamentals of Algebra. And that's right, we are only using the chat box here in today's class. But go ahead and take a screenshot if you need to. I got you. Go ahead. Take a screenshot if you need to. Yeah, it's definitely a fundamental of algebra. Yeah, definitely a fundamental. Exactly. Geometric is division and multiplication. Yeah, Krishan, so just going back to it, the reason that we found out that it was adding 10 was because if we're going from the third term, right over here, from number 3 to number 5, you added the same thing twice because you went from here to here, then here to there. So we didn't know what this number was here, right? So we went from here, boop, boop, 2 times to get to 38. The reason we found out that it was just 10 is because if you go 2 spaces, you added 20. So that means that if you only go 1 space, half of that, cut that in half. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So that means that from every 1, you're going up 10. And we got that from going every 2 is 20, which means every 1 is 10. Danish, the answer here, there would be negative 23. Just answering that random question in the chat box. But cool. So with that, are you guys ready for the next one? Yeah, not a problem. All right, here. Let's go ahead and get ready for this next one, my party people. Let's get ready for this next one. Let me go ahead and get the timer up. Only giving you 2 minutes for this one here. And y'all got this, man. Regardless of the branch you're trying to join, remember that hard work and consistency is going to get you there. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Looking at our final 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Come on, put those answers in. Don't get shy. Don't get shy. Go put those answers in. Let's go. All right, let's go get my face back in here so I can torture you or teach you, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get this going. So I see some A's, B's, C's. Okay, cool. We have a lot of different answers here. Okay. So right from the get-go, I want to show you again, for those of you in the program, you're going to love me for this. When it comes to equations, inequalities, and systems of equations, I've split those three things up into separate units, allowing you to really hyper focus on that specific concept instead of trying to like, oh yeah, here's the overall topic. Let me try to fish for it and find it. Nope, you don't need to struggle for it. You can just go ahead and in the math knowledge course, you'll go straight to unit 4. This is math knowledge unit 4. And the name of the topic is inequalities, solving inequalities. Okay, solving inequalities. For those of you that are in the program and are curious more about this, definitely you want to check this out. So let me just go and show you with my screen in the background. Cool. So for inequalities, all you have to do is, again, on your math knowledge dashboard, you're going to go ahead and see that unit 4, solving inequalities right there. Scroll down to unit 4, click that, and click the Get Started on Learning button. And you'll see on the left side, all the way on the left, you'll see everything that's available to you. So you can see right over here, the first thing you'll see is a guided practice on how to do problems exactly like we're doing right now. And these worksheets, or what this is pretty much a worksheet that I go through with you hand by hand. And then you have the option of going through a worksheet on your own that you can print or download, and you can try all these problems out all on your own. All the answers are going to be located at the end. So you'll see the questions with the answers shown to you. Then on top of that, you can try speed drills for each level of difficulty. What we're doing right now, that's one-step inequalities. Later on, you'll see that there's 2-step inequalities, 3-step, multi-step, and all of that is taught over here on the left. You'll see everything's lined up for you. So this is the great thing about the program if you're in it, because again, you can practice your speed and pressure from the basics of the basics all the way through until the checkpoint right over here that's going to basically give you all of it at once to see how far you've come. So again, just to make sure that you understand what a speed drill is a hyper-focused practice test so you can get better on what you know you need to work on specifically. You have 10 minutes for this one for 10 questions. And so if I click ready to start, once I do that, it's going to show me the questions right behind me. And so you'll go through, you'll answer the questions through and through. I'll just go ahead and skip all the way to the end. And so I've answered all the questions. You click submit. And the great thing about this is, okay, whether you got it correct or incorrect, boom, it'll show you what the right answer is. And anything that you're struggling with, specifically for math knowledge, go back to the guided practice, go back to the worksheets. And on top of that, you can text me. You have no idea how many students text me on a daily basis, over 200. And the majority of them are students in the program that just want help, that want to know how to get a certain problem done. So remember that if you're in the program and you're doing these questions and you're stuck, text me. Even if the lessons don't work or didn't work for you, the worksheet didn't work for you, the guided practice didn't work for you, any of the YouTube videos, I'm your last line to help you out. So trust me and reach out to me whenever you have any questions, and you'll be able to basically go through this like a boss and get all of these questions right at your leisure. So with these questions here, as you get down the line, you'll have video solutions for each and every single question, so you can really check your work and understand what's going on. So with that, my party people, for those of you that are in the program, does that make sense? Good. Good. Again, like I said, for those of you in the program or not in the program and you're interested in it, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat box in a few seconds here, just in case you have to leave early. But there's the link again in the chat box. Again, it's over 600 students are in there right now, and I've helped over 1,500 students get the scores they've wanted over the past 4 years. So it's been a lot of fun, but let's keep the fun going. So how to solve this? -2 is less than x over 13. Well, here's what we're doing, everybody. Inequalities are pretty much the same as equations with one minor difference. Everyone, when it comes to equations, what is the one thing that you will always see in an equation? What's the one thing you always see? Well, that's part of the process, Landa, right? Part of the process is you're working backwards. But one thing that you'll always see Oh, Dionysia, yes. Let me know if that's the way you pronounce your name. Dionysia says equal sign. Yes, you have an equal sign in every single problem for an equation. For an inequality or inequation, backwards, negative, it is not equal. So the way that you read this is, hey, -2 is less than x over 13. But the thing is, you solve these inequalities in the same way you would solve equations, with one exception to the rule. The only exception is whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the symbol. You flip that. Anytime you multiply both sides or divide both sides by a negative, again, you will flip the symbol. So give me 2 seconds, my party people. My mom's calling me. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and drop that right there. So here we go. Everyone, we have x here, and x is being divided by 13. How do we get the x by itself? Oh, don't worry, I'm going to text you in a second. So, yeah, exactly. We're going to treat this just like an equation, and we're going to work backwards. So we have x divided by 13. So to get rid of the division of 13, we're going to multiply both sides by 13. So that's what I'll do here. Times 13 times 13 right there. Once we do that, great. We're going to go ahead and cancel that out on the right side. Awesome. And so now we're going to have x on the right side, still with that less than sign. Or wait, should I flip it? What did I say earlier? Should I flip that less than to greater than? Should I flip it? Should I flip it? Okay, I see a lot of people saying, yeah, flip it. Some people saying no. What was the rule that I said? When you do what to both sides, you flip it? When you do what to both sides, you flip it? What was it that I said? When you multiply or divide by what? Yeah, Thiele, that's exactly correct. There's no negative. I told you, when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you flip the symbol. When I did this here, I multiplied both sides by 13. Is that 13 negative? Nope, not negative, so don't flip it. Not negative, so don't flip it. So with that said, 13 times -2, that'll end up being -26. No hassle there. We're good. But there's one little itty bitty problem, and that's going to be the answers. Because when you look at the answers, it looks like the x is on the left, not the right. That's going to be a little bit of an issue that we can solve very, very quickly. If I want to flip sides here and get x on this side and put the -26 on the right side, what do I have to do to the symbol? Thank you, Landa. Yep, we have got to flip the symbol. Yep. So this right here, that less than turns into greater than when we flip it. If we were to flip, we have to do that. So if we go here to here, there to there, you've got to flip the symbol. And here's why it's true. Let me give you a very easy example to see. My party people, is it true that 5 is greater than 4? Is that true? Right. Now, if I were to flip the 5 and the 4, if I didn't flip the symbol, is 4 greater than 5? No, it's not. So that's why, again, if you flip the sides, you flip the inequality. And so 4 is less than 5. With an equation, it doesn't matter because this side is equal to this side. So it doesn't matter at all. But when it comes to inequalities, absolutely matters. You have to flip it because you're flipping the placement of the bigger and smaller number. Does that make sense, everybody? Because you flip the position of the bigger and smaller, you have to flip the symbol to basically keep it true. Cool. So now that we've done that, our answer is x is greater than negative 26, which is answer choice D. That is the correct answer. Right on, right on. So again, that's going to be unit 4, solving inequalities. And there's tons of practice in there for equations, for inequalities, and systems. Arguably, like, if there's anything you want to know how to do, it's equations, inequalities, and systems of equations for the ASVAB, because that's going to leak into everything else that you do. There's equations and formulas for everything. So if you know how to solve equations and solve inequalities, you're putting yourself in the best position possible for everything else. All right, cool. So let's see what we got up next. Let me see. Ooh, I like this one too. Okay, so my party people, we're going to jump into the next one here. We got another brand new topic. Kia. So what I said was, hey, if we multiply or divide by a negative on both sides, we flip the symbol. When you multiply or divide by a negative on both sides, that's what we do. All right. So let's go over. Let's get ready for another one here. Let me get the timer up. And it should give me a moment to text my mom to see what she wants. So here we go, my party people. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. And that is time, my math party people. That is time. How are we feeling? Are we confident? Put those question marks next to your answer if it is a guess. This one is a very straightforward one. I may, I'll be very transparent about this one. It's very straightforward. Again, if you know the rules. My party people, when it comes to looking at this thing here, what would you say is the one thing that comes to your head? What's the one math idea that comes to your head? Yep, it's going to be like terms. It's going to be like terms. That's exactly it. So let me go ahead and bring myself back into it. This one's going to be pretty straightforward here, and I'm going to give you the unit for this one as well. If you're looking in the math knowledge course here, you are looking at unit 6, This is about polynomials and combining like terms. So unit 6. So math knowledge, unit 6. This is about polynomials. So again, combining like terms, super important to know. You've got to make sure you know how to do that. So with that, here we go. Everybody, what does it mean for terms to be like terms? Same exponent. Okay, what else? Yeah, same variables and the same exponents. So again, what are like terms? Let's go ahead and make sure that this is very clear. Like terms are terms that have the same variables and the same exponents. So right over here, same variables, same exponents. Everyone always gets the first one, same variables. It's the second one that it definitely can become a problem for people if you're not making it a common practice to know your rules before you begin. So everybody, here's what I mean. If we zoom on in over here, okay, let's see which terms are like terms. My party people, are these two terms like terms? Well, wow. You guys are saying no. I mean, I just told you. I told you the rules. We have B for both of them. Different exponents. Exactly. Different exponents. That is the problem. And so because of that, again, these are not like terms. 4b to the power of 4 and the negative or minus 7b to the power of 4, those are like terms. Those are because we have the same b and we have the same exponent, the 4 right there. That's what makes these like terms. They have the same variables, letters, and the same exponents. Does that make a little more sense now, especially when I highlight these two as being like terms as well? Same letters, B, same exponents, 2. Again, a very sincere rule, a very straightforward rule, but if you forget that, could spell disaster, right? Could absolutely spell disaster. So with that, let's go ahead and do our job here. So the 4b to the power of 4, that's a minus. Remember, everybody, if you have 1 plus 2 plus 3, you can do the 1 and the 3 first if you want to. But if it's 1 plus 2 minus 3, you could still do 1 minus 3 first, not plus 3. If there's a negative in front of it, you're subtracting it. If there's a positive or a plus, you're adding it. So here we are saying 4 of the b to the power of 4 minus 7 of those b's to the power of 4. What is 4 minus 7, my party people? What is 4 minus 7? And hint, it's the same as 7 minus 4, just the opposite sign. Negative 3. Yes. So that would be negative 3b to the power of 4. And then from there, if we're looking at the green highlight for the other like terms, we have a positive 2b squared, and then we have a positive 4b squared. If we add those two together, if we combine those like terms, what do we get? 6 what? 6 what? 6b what? Yeah, 6b squared. I got to get on you about that, but there it is. That'll be 6b squared. And that's our answer. And that shows itself right here with answer choice A. So there it is. Again, a very sincere rule, one of the plenty of rules that exist when it comes to factoring polynomials, distributing polynomials, and polynomials in general. You definitely need to know this and how this works. But there it is. So even for those of us that got it incorrect, are we feeling a little more confident now? Are we feeling a little more confident? Good. Good, good, good. All right. So let's go ahead and dive on into the next one. Let's see what we've got next. So I'm going to get the 2-minute timer up again. All right. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. I'll put the timer up now. You guys are doing great so far, by the way. Great job so far. Keep up the participation. Keep up that mental acuity and trying your best. Keep it going. 2, 1, and time. What do we have, my party people? So I can definitely tell who's been to my previous classes about learning factorials. I can definitely tell with these answers coming into the chat box. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we have. So let me go ahead and pull out the timer, and there we go. So, our party people, who remembers? Who remembers what factorial means? What does factorial mean? Okay, together you guys are all correct, but some people are missing the first part. Some people are missing there we go. We want to multiply the number by every number before it. Thank you, Aaliyah. And until you get to 1. Until you get to 1. So essentially, if we say, hey, what's 3 factorial? That's 3 times 2 times 1. If we say 4 factorial, that's 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And if we say 5 factorial, that'll end up being 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And the 1 isn't really important at all because if you're multiplying by 1, it's just going to stay the same number. So we can really ignore the 1 and we can just start working backwards nice and easy. So here, everybody, let's just go ahead and do the work. What's 5 times 4? What's that going to be? Right, that'll be 20. And then if you wanted to, you could just say, hey, what's 3 times 2? That's going to be 6. And again, multiplying by 1 is just going to keep it the same. 6 times 1 is 6, whatever. And now we'll do 20 times 6. What's 20 times 6? 120. There it is. And we are done. Boom. And there we have it. So I think this is a good time for me to really point out, my party people, do you guys see the difference between word problems and math knowledge? Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference in terms of, hey, in math knowledge, if I know the math, I know it. If I don't, I'm going to be sitting there hoping for the best. With arithmetic reasoning, there are a lot more clues you can follow, a lot more steps you need to take. Here, it's just, hey, here's the math. Can you do it? Can you not? That's the majority of math knowledge questions. That's the majority. Exactly. You know it or you don't. You know it or you don't. And the thing is, you can learn very quickly what it is that you need to do. It just takes a little practice to commit it to memory. It's definitely a lot of words in arithmetic reasoning. So if you're looking or guessing or hoping to see what unit this is from, this is Math Knowledge, Unit 2, Fundamentals of Algebra. Fundamentals of Algebra. All right. So it is. It'd be great if you got paid in factorial hours. I mean, think about it. If you got paid even $10 an hour, you're looking at what? 90 times 56 times 30 times. Geez, that's a good paycheck. That'd be amazing. So it's a great way to use math in terms of relating it to the real world. If we did things that way, I'm pretty sure any business owner would go out of business for any hours worked after 5 hours. So here we go. Let's go ahead and dive on into the next one here. We have enough time for maybe 2 more questions, so let's make the most of it. So let me get myself out of the way, put this in, and here we go. 3, 2, and 1. And that's time, my party people. That is time. Okay, I see some of these answers. All right, cool. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that we can do this question here. So let me go ahead and let go of that timer. Oop, wrong one. There it is. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we got here. So this is a very similar question, right? I told you earlier that we did a problem that had to do with slope. So I'm going to go ahead and just remind you that this is going to be Math Knowledge Unit 9. For those of you in the program, Unit 9. And again, if you're curious about the program, you can go to this link right here. But again, Math Knowledge Unit 9, Slopes and Graphs. So let's get this done. Everyone, when you look at the answer choices, what is it that we're looking for? If you look at the answer choices, what are we looking for? What form are these answers in? Who recognizes this? Yeah, that's correct. No need to put a question mark there, Olivia. It is y equals mx plus b. Absolutely. It's the equation of a line. It's an equation of a line. Y equals mx plus b. So here's what we're going to do. we're going to notice a couple of things here, my party people. What I'm going to notice is, well, there's a quick way to do this and there's a regular way to do this. Let me show you a nice quick way to do this. My party people, what do you notice about each of these choices here? What do you notice about particularly what's in front of the X? What do you notice about each of these numbers in front of the X? They're not all negative. We have a positive 2 there. Exactly. Not that they're positive or negative, it's that they're all different. Take a look. That's a 2. That's -1. That's -2. That's a +1. They're all different. And they're all going to carry an X. They all will, because the form that this is in is going to be y equals mx plus b. So you're going to expect that. You're going to expect that X to be there. But notice that the m, which is also, again, the slope, all of the slopes are different. So everyone, is it true that if we went ahead and looked at this problem and said, oh, we have this point right here, 0, 1, and this one right there, 10, -19. If we were to go ahead and calculate the slope, whatever the slope is, we match it to the right one and we're done. Is that true? Could we just find the slope and be done? That's the question. Yeah. And the answer is yes. We could just go ahead and calculate the slope. If we found the slope, we have our answer. We have our answer. So that's a slightly faster way to do it. You guys want to see the absolute fastest way to do this? It's like this. I recognized that all the slopes were different, and I also recognized that I was given a very specific value for one of the coordinates, namely right here. Everyone, what's special about the coordinate 0, 1? What's special about that? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? No, 1 is not the slope. Good try, good try. B is 1. The B, yes, exactly. TR close, very close. Yes, when you have a 0 for the X, that's the y-intercept. That's the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is the B, where you have y equals mx plus b. This b right here, that's your y-intercept. That's your y-intercept. So whatever you're looking at for this question, whatever you're looking at, you're guaranteed to have y equals mx plus 1. Y equals mx plus 1. You know that that's gonna be a 1. Does that make sense, anybody? Does that make sense? Again, where the x is 0, whatever value you have for the y, that's the y-intercept. The y-intercept, meaning where you cross the y-axis. You cross the y-axis, not when x is positive or negative, but where x is 0, right there on that line. So if you know that fact, that mathematical fact, boom, you can already look at this and eliminate B and eliminate D. You can eliminate both of those because they have different y-intercepts. They don't have +1. So you can automatically rid of that right away. And then number 2, if you know a little bit about slope, you might be able to tell something here. My party people, if my first coordinate is 0, 1, like they tell us, and then the next coordinate that they give us is 10, 19, everybody, if you look at this, the x is 0, then the x is 10. So it looks like we're going to the right, right? From 0 to 10 on the x, here's 0, here's 10. We're going to the right. Everybody, what's happening on the y? When we go from 1 to 19, are we going up or down from 1 to 19? Oh, let me see, -19? Appreciate you. Thank you. Saving my life right there. That's negative 19. I'm going to write that right there. Great. So same question though. If we're going from 0 to 10 on the x, we're going to the right. And so if we're going from, for the y, if we're going from 1 to negative 19, is this line that we're talking about going up or going down? Yeah, it's going to be going down. Nice comment. That's going to be going down. Everyone, if the line is going down, what do we know about the slope? What do we know? The slope has to be negative. A negative slope means the line is going down. If the slope is positive, the line is going up. In this case, from 0 to 10, going to the right, we see that it's going from 1 down to negative 19. That line is going down. And because of that, from the answers that we have left, we have a positive 2 and a negative 2 for the slope. Which one is it? The one with a negative 2. It's C. It has to be C. Has to be. So again, that was one way to do it. The other way could have just been using your slope formula and solving it straight up. I can go ahead. Oh yeah, for sure. I can show you the graph reference as well. So if you have a little line right here showing the graph, here's what this would look like. We could say that, this could be 0, 1 right over here. And then 10, negative 19 would be somewhere over here. And we would be able to tell, specifically speaking, that we are going in the negative direction. So from here, we can tell that the line is going down. It's negative. We can definitely tell that. So it's another way to see it. Again, if you can visualize it, bam. And the last way is just to go ahead, calculate the slope. Just go ahead and calculate the slope, and you'll see that the only answer with the right slope is there. So we can go ahead and treat this like x1, y1, x2, y2, and we can fill in, put this right over here. We can go ahead and fill in our formula. Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if we fill this in nice and easy, we end up getting negative 19 minus 1 over 10 minus 0. So that'll end up being negative 20 over 10, which is negative 2. Only answer with a slope of negative 2 is C. And there it is. So again, like 3 different ways you can solve it, right? One is to go directly through, calculate each piece. The second way is to notice what you have available to you. And the third is to really notice what you have available to you. You are given the y-intercept, and you can tell what the slope is without even calculating. So with that said, my party people, how are we feeling? I know this class went by really, really fast, but that's because we had a lot of fun. I mean, that's clear to see. But how are we feeling about everything in terms of our ability to do math knowledge? Oh, for sure. Practice is always needed, right? Always needed. We always have to be prepared to practice more. We have to. Absolutely. And especially for those of you in the program, remember, you have everything lined up for you from start to finish. Again, the plan is simple when it comes to the ASVAB for the program. For math, start with the math basics, then go to your AR and MK courses, then take the practice test that I have for you ready, and then you're good. Then for English, you do your study guides, courses, practice tests. 1, 2, 3. So straightforward that all you have to do is sit down and get to work. All you have to do is find the time, because you don't have to come to these classes to succeed in the program. That's a misconception. These classes are great for reviewing and to see what you know, see how far you've come. But the meat of the bone, the meat and the bones here is going to be going through those courses that you have lined up for you to make your life so much easier. Cool. So with that, my party people, so let's go ahead and wrap up this class here. I really do appreciate you guys coming, because this is always going to be a fun time. So remember, my party people, for those of you that are in the program, tomorrow, I believe we have arithmetic reasoning coming up tomorrow. That's going to be a really, really fun class. Let me just double check the schedule for you. Yeah, we've got we got arithmetic reasoning tomorrow, and then paragraph comprehension on Wednesday. So that's going to be a lot of fun for us because with arithmetic reasoning, we're getting right back into those word problems, making sure that we can handle the timing, handle the pressure, and really see what else we can do moving forward. So for those of you that are not in the program and you are looking to hopefully come in, hey, I got your back. So I'm going to show you exactly how to sign up, and I'll teach you exactly what you have available to you. That way, you're good to go. So for those of you, again, that are in the program already, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Shout out to everybody who's been in the AR, MK, and Math Basics course, doing what you got to do to succeed. Love y'all. Keep up that energy. And then for those of you who are, again, interested in the program, I got you. So what I typically do, I'm going to kind of skip this part today, but pretty much if you've gone through this class and you're looking at any of these questions saying, yes, do I have test anxiety? Do I get nervous when test dates are coming up? Do I blank out on word problems? Do I hate running out of time on the test and it happens so often? Do I feel like I'm studying alone and I don't really know what or how to study? Any of those questions, that's a problem. That's a big problem, and you have got to put yourself in a position to succeed. So if you enjoyed today's class, again, I say this every time, there are so many students that have gone through this program, similar situation to you, where you want to raise your score, you may have failed the first time, you're trying to get a promotion, and you need something what feels like a miracle to get there. It's not a miracle. Everything's lined up for you. All you have to do is put in the work. And that's the great thing about it, because you can turn that aspiration of getting that ASVAB score you want and the job you want, you can break it down into small, simple steps. So with the program, like I said, pretty much for the math, you've got everything lined up. A math basics course to cover your fundamentals. Then you have your pure arithmetic reasoning and math knowledge courses, and then practice tests to make sure that you're test ready. Number 2, for English, study guides for word knowledge and paragraph comprehension, courses for each of them with a bunch of practice problems, and then you got your practice tests. And then on top of that, number 3, you have yourself all the classes, all the recordings, and all of the future classes that you can attend. And the great thing is, even between classes, you can reach out to me if you have any questions at all. So with that said, again, it's no longer a matter of if you'll pass, it's a matter of, are you willing to put in the work? If you put in the work, you'll get the score you want. That simple. So with that said, Fiona, if you want to change, go ahead and just shoot me a text. I'm going to put my number down right over here. So these are the plans, my party people. We have a monthly, year, and a lifetime membership. To put it simply, if you're trying to pass as quickly as possible, go monthly. If you're trying to study as much as you need to over the next however long and get the score that you want and take your time doing it, get the year. If you got delayed and you have to wait 6 months to take your next test, get the year. If you are on your second attempt and you don't want to wait, to your third attempt to wait the 6 months, you don't want to risk it, do the year. If you are just trying to pass now and then get promoted later, lifetime. It's the best deal, best bang for the buck. So I'm going to go ahead and put the links here in the chat box. Tomorrow, Fatmata, we're doing arithmetic reasoning. And Fiona, you can absolutely do that. So you're trying to change from the monthly to the year or lifetime? And Jocelyn, yes. The servers are back up. There was a hiccup it was like 45 minutes to an hour for some people, but all fixed now. They gave me the email earlier. We're all good. And so here's the links, everybody, for you in the chat box. Sounds good, Fiona. So Fiona, what you want to do, since you're already in the program and you want to upgrade, I got your back. Go ahead and shoot me a text. Here's my number at the top left. Shoot me a text, 567-698-8867. Again, if you have a phone number in the States, you should be able to text me, no problem. If you are having issues with that, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Right on, Fatmata. That's right. It sounds good, Brendan. No worries. So there it is, my party people. Again, I put the links with the coupon codes right there in the chat box. And I'm going to do the same over here on YouTube. I got y'all. And B to the B, I got you. I got you. It's honestly 100% my pleasure to help you guys succeed. I've been in positions in my life where I wish I kind of had a mentor for that specific situation. In some cases, I did. some cases I didn't. And given that the ASVAB is such a big part of your career, it determines your career. I think that it's fair to say that you deserve to have someone there who's willing to have your back all the way until you pass. So if you want that and you want that support, there it is right there. Yes. And to the person asking here, so yes, the monthly is a subscription. Cancel whenever. Cancel whenever. It's just like Netflix or Hulu. All you have to do is, if you're done with it, log in, cancel it, and you're good. The year, and the lifetime is a one-time payment. You will not be charged again. It's the subscription that is a recurring, and all you have to do, cancel when you're done. Super straightforward. And for those of you asking about one-on-one, so the reason that I don't do one-on-one is because I have over 600 active students in the program. If I do one-on-one for one student, I'm taking away from everybody else. So with that said, that's why I make myself available via text. That way, if you're in the program, text me anytime, Monday through Friday, ask me for help. I'll get back to you within the day. Typically, if I'm in office, I get back to you within 30 minutes, and we can have any conversation you want to have. Yeah, so Jordan, if you're looking for help with arithmetic reasoning and that's a major deal for you, what you want to do once you get into the program, start with the math basics. I know it's going to be tempting to jump ahead, but make sure that you have your fundamentals set, because I guarantee you half of everybody's issue with word problems is just not knowing your fundamentals. So start there once you join. The deal ends tonight, 3 a.m. Eastern time, which is midnight Pacific. So you still have 5 hours to secure this deal if you'd like to. And again, the regular prices are still very affordable. Right now, I think my competitors are charging like $200 for, I think, 6 hours. This is $60 a month, which covers 24 hours, plus the courses, plus texting me on the side. So yeah, it's no, even if you don't get the deal tonight, it's still an amazing deal. So Anthony, did I join the military? So no, I did not. So I've been a teacher my entire career. So I started off teaching teachers, teaching in high school, teaching PhD candidates when I ran those programs. And then a couple of years ago, a couple of friends of mine needed help in the ASVAB, helped them out. Then they referred me. Then a couple of weeks later, I realized it's a business. It's a brand new business. So I started doing that about 4 years ago, and we've built this program up ever since. And yeah, we've helped so many people get in. Oh yeah, so I've taken practice podcasts before, and I've scored in the upper 90s. So it's something that, as an educator, I mean, learning how to learn has been like the forefront of my career, my entire career. So when it comes to taking the ASVAB, it's not particularly something that's foreign to me, because I've taught for the SAT, ACT, GRE, ASVAB. I've taught for all of these different standardized tests, and at the end of the day, it's the same fundamentals. Yeah, so Tim, numbers right here. Phone numbers right here. 567-698-8867. Yeah, you're welcome. You are welcome. And again, this deal is going to go ahead and last until tonight, 3 a.m. Eastern, which is midnight Pacific time. Yeah, Ingrid, the program does have a website. So you can actually go right here. So here's the link to the program directly for you. So Ingrid, just go ahead and click here and you're good. Yep. And once you click on that link, you'll see everything that the program offers. There's a video at the top explaining it all, and you can just scroll down the page to see how it all works. Well, that's why I became an educator as well. I mean, those light bulb moments when you have someone who doesn't understand what's going on but wants to understand, and you teach them, and they're those eyes just light up, and you're like, wow, oh, that's how you do it. And they're just hungry for it, and they get after it. There's nothing better than those moments. And the reason that I went into the private sector to teach teachers and PhD candidates and military recruits is because, long story short, simply put, people who have something and everything to gain from passing these tests, like a career, your bonus, financial stability for your family, you guys are always willing to work that much harder because you have so much more at stake. And I love helping people who are hungry like you guys because, one, yes, it makes my job a little easier, but it makes my job so much more fun. And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. So the year, so all three plans give you the same access. The monthly is on a month-to-month basis, the years for a whole year, and the lifetime for life. The year and the lifetime, whenever I come out with something new, like a new course or a new set of practice tests, if you're in the year or lifetime, you don't pay a dime extra. You get those included for free, all of the updates and everything with a subscription. If I do add a few more things here and there that I justify and need to charge more for, the price will go up. But if you are already paying the current price, it won't go up. It's only if you cancel and try to come back that you'll have to pay more. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Looking forward to seeing you in more classes. So, Anthony, if you're trying to get to the free practice test that you have of mine, log into your account, scroll down to my courses. You should be good. And when you signed up for it, I gave you a confirmation text with the link to start working on it right away. You can go to that too. And Nayeli, thanks for the comment there. I am not the best until you pass. How about that? I appreciate the comment though, and I'll take it. Hey, what's up, Yuan? Go ahead. Hey, you can absolutely get the 90. You can absolutely get there. It takes time, it takes dedication and practice, but you can get there. Yes, I do have plenty of t-shirts. Yeah, they are for sale, and every now and then I do giveaways with the free shirts for sure. So if you're in the program, yeah, you'll be. I typically give out 2 shirts a month. Um, Alexisha, so is there a weekly? No, because here's the thing. It's not it's not that I can't do it because I can absolutely make a subscription that's on a week to week basis. But the reason that I don't do that is specifically because if I do a week to week, what I'm saying is that it's possible to go from whatever score you're at and pass in a week. Yes, technically it's possible, but a week, in my professional opinion, a week to pass the ASVAB is not a position you want to be in. The best position to be in is making sure that you have the mental clarity, the space that you need to calmly go through everything and get the most benefit. And in a week, I'm sorry to say, it's unlikely that anybody can just say, "Oh, I can pass in a week." Anybody who's trying to sell you that dream is probably just trying to make money off of you. It's going to take a little longer than that, and you got to be honest about that. So if you're willing to be honest about it, and reschedule your test, which you're perfectly allowed to do. There is no penalty for rescheduling. I always recommend rescheduling your test so you can practice adequately, calmly, cool and collected, and then go to take the test when you know you're ready to pass. I always recommend that. So that's the reason why I don't do weekly. I could right now form a weekly subscription in 5 seconds, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to give people the wrong impression. You're welcome. And again, there's no penalty for rescheduling. I tell everybody who's nervous about their upcoming test, I always tell them, don't go. Respectfully reach out to your recruiter and say, hey, Staff Sergeant so-and-so, I'm working with an ASVAB coach now. I'm going to go ahead and reschedule and postpone my test for now, and I'll let you know when I'm ready. That way, when I come in, I'm ready to pass, ready to get my physical done, and then enlist with you. They love that. Recruiters love when you have someone who's ready to go. They are a little nervous when you have someone who is nervous themselves. Hey, I appreciate it, TR. Appreciate that. Yeah, exam next month. Hey, you're going to do well. You're going to do well. It's going to take time, but you're going to do well. All right, my party people. So there it is. I'm going to cap off the evening. So thank you guys for coming to class. Yeah, I absolutely go over goals with students just to answer that last question there. So the students that communicate with me and text me while they're in the program, those are always the students that do the best, always. Because not only is it that you're coming to class, not only is it that you're doing the right thing in the courses, but you're communicating with me with your successes. And anytime you get stuck, you're never going to be stuck for long. So I encourage you to reach out to me. And that's why I'm always blasting my phone number. My phone number is there for a reason. I want you to succeed. I want you to win. I want you to get in and enlist in the job that you want. And all I need you to do is get in the batter's box and swing. I line everything else up for you. All you got to do is put in the effort. And that's the best way anything can be. When all you got to do is put in effort, that's the best way, best results. Hey, right on. So let me go ahead and put the link in the chat box one more time for you. I got you. So here's the link. Yeah, sounds great. Looking forward to having you in. Once you're done going through the program checklist, please reach out to me. Let me know that you're all done, and let me know what you're working on first. And if you need any help or guidance, I got you. All right, my party people. You guys have been absolutely outstanding tonight. We have another class tomorrow at 6 p.m. for arithmetic reasoning review. Hope to see y'all there. You guys stay awesome. Let's ace the ASVAB, and I will see you there. Cheers, guys. Love y'all.